Hi, I'm Olivier from Activity Messenger, and in this video, we're going to create an online form that's bilingual, like fully bilingual with all the questions in French and English. So what we have here is a very simple form, but it could be used for surveys, registration, event ticket forms, or even liability waivers that you want to have in both French and English. So I have the English version of my form here, and we have the FR here that can bring us to French. If I click on French here, it's going to change every single thing into French, and vice versa. If I go back to English, I'm there. Now the client can then select whichever they want. So let's say I go in English and I say Canada, and I click on submit here. I get a confirmation here, and the client gets a confirmation email that the form went through with a copy of their form. Now I'm in the back end, right? So on the back end here, you have the form builder. So I can drag and drop. This is kind of what you see before you kind of set it up. And you have the translation here. So if I click on the translation here, we have the ability to translate all the questions from one language to another. And that's the translation that will be used. So I'll give you an example. If I wanted to make this form a bit more complex, I can add a new block. And that's where, there's a bunch of questions like conditional branching, checkboxes, numbers, yes, no questions, registration questions, contacts, digital signatures, and a bunch of other stuff. But okay, I'll just create a purchase radio button, sorry, and then I'll ask a question like, "Is this your first purchase?" So this is me adding a question to the English form right here. Then I can move it wherever I want. So let's say I put it here. Now I've building that English form. I always need to go back and do the translation. So I click on translation here, and you can see that all my translations that I had already are done. And then I can simply click here on the questions I want to translate, and AI is going to translate it for you. So you don't have to do it. You can obviously modify it if the translation is not what you want. I click on save. And now when I go in to visit my form, I can switch to French, and that new question is now there, but it's also going to be in the French version. And at the beginning of the video, I filled out the form. So what does that look like? I got my respondent here. If I click on it, I will see when they fill it out, and it's even going to tell me the language, which in this case was English. And that's important because they're going to get an English confirmation form, and when you're going to want to follow up with them either by email or SMS, you'll probably want to follow up in the language they filled out the form. So how that works is we can look at different visible columns here. So I can select every question that's on the form, and it's going to populate the questions and the answers. And the important one in this case is the language here, right? So now I'm able to know, okay, Olivier here, he filled it out in English, so I should probably communicate with him in English, right? And that's where we can filter by columns. So I can say, take the language here, and let's say I took French. In this example, nobody had filled it out in French. I click apply, and now, everybody who filled it out in French would be shown here. So what that looks like is then I can click on the people that I selected in English, click on message, and then that opens up the communication portal in Activity Messenger, which allows you to send both email or SMS, or send it both SMS and email. We also have two types of communication, right? Non-marketing and marketing. So non-marketing would be like a reminder before a class, or if you're canceling an event that people had purchased. And marketing would be your newsletter. So depending on the type of form and the reason for the form, you will decide what type of communication. You can send it out, and you can schedule your messages out in the future as well. And so once you're happy with your form, so you build out your form, you added, items to sell, digital signatures, whatever it is, you made it, bilingual. The important thing you'll have to do now is look at the options, because under the options, you'll have two confirmation emails, right? So when I fill it out in French, I get confirmation de formulaire rempli, and when I fill it out in English, I get this email. And if I go and edit it, it's our email editor. So it's very simple, just blocks, and you can add more text, include images, links to your website, links to forms, to a survey. So you have a bunch of little options you have in the communications tab. But importantly is that they will get a confirmation in the language that they filled out the form. And last thing, how do we share this form? So once you built the form, you can click on the share button here. It gives you many options. So you have a unique link that you can share. You can share it on social media. Every form has a QR code that you can kind of put out so people can scan with their phone, and you can embed it on your website or a button pop up on your websites. So that's it. That's how you would create an English-French bilingual form with Activity Messenger. If you'd like to learn more, you can visit activitymessenger.com. And we'll help you out. Thanks.